This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I don't know shit about fuck.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Kaz, and this is WTF Nation Radio, and welcome to Friday Night Freedom. We're kind of roasting here in North Texas. I guess most of the country is just on freaking fire, and I'm done with it. I looked up historical weather data, and we're not any worse this year than we are in other years. I guess I'm getting older and crankier. It's just ridiculously hot, man. It was. I think it hit 106 here today. My house is I'm doing the refurb and stuff. I've done all the right things. Got new insulation in the attic. I've got new doors and windows. I got a brand new air conditioning system, and it's still having a hard time keeping up. Nighttime is fine. As soon as the sun disappears, man, it's fine. But dude, it's just hot. But here we are doing the show. Hopefully everyone's doing fine, or you got a pool to cool off in, or a good AC, or a nice fan, or I don't know, man. You're not as hot, but your humidity is just through the roof.
Yes.
You can actually, it's so humid there, you can probably take your goldfish out for a walk, right?
Yeah. I mean, last night it was probably what was the term for the meter? The hydrometer?
Hydrometer.
Yes. On my temperature gauge said 90.
Well, it says 90, and you're like, is that the temperature or the humidity? And the answer to both questions is yes.
Yes. So it was like sitting outside in the sauna. I'm sitting out in basketball shorts, and I'm just smoking a cigarette. I'm just like, well, screw it. Might as well just enjoy the free sauna at this point.
Right. Sweating all the toxins out.
Yeah. It's so humid the mosquitoes can't fly. They have to swim through the air. So, I mean.
It happens every year. I really can't complain, but, everyone, you're supposed to complain, right? Hot enough for you? You got to say all those old man sayings.
If you don't, complaining is 90% of getting over the heat, I think.
I've got a neighbor that's 2 doors down, and every time I get home from work, he's outside, he's drinking a beer on his front porch, and it's hotter than shit outside. I mean, that's the last place I want to be, is sitting in the sun. He's always out there with his buddies after work. Music blaring, and he's having a good time.
He's a full-blooded Texan at that point.
I don't know what he is. He's crazy.
That's what I do at night during the day, or I'll sit on the porch, drinking beer, smoking cigarettes, just sweating. Gotta get used to it.
James Davis chimed in. He says, "What's up, y'all? Been missing y'all's show for about a month. Hopefully, I can stay tuned for the whole show this evening. South Alabama here." And yes, it's hot as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just something about the southern East Coast, Gulf Coast area. It's just like Florida would be humid, but I think South Carolina got it beat. Huh?
Yeah, my mom and dad were looking at places. They're traveling around the country looking for places to retire, and I think Gulf Shores, Alabama, was an area that they were looking at retiring, and they went to go look there in like August, and it was. It's like they got there, they got out of the car, and they're like, nah. Spent a couple of days down there and then went back. They're in Wisconsin, so yeah, I think anything above 80 degrees will put them down. I remember when my kids were young, my mom and dad came for a visit, and I was building a swing set in the backyard, just an A-frame swing set, easy peasy, out of 4x4 timber. And my dad was out there, and I'm digging holes to anchor this thing, and my dad's just sweating his ass off, man. And he's like, "Gosh, I gotta go inside." And then so he went inside and he drank some water, got out of the sun, and then my mom came out and she bitched at me, "You're trying to kill your father," because apparently he had too much sun exposure. It wasn't like that heat exhaustion. He was just not used. He wasn't acclimated to the heat here in Texas.
See, I've been eyeballing one of those stock tubs, they use for livestock. They give them water.
Oh yeah, the big metal ones.
Yeah, I've been eyeballing buying one from Tractor Supply to turn into like a little mini pool. I can just fill it up, throw some ice in there, and just like chill. That's what I've been like. This humidity is ridiculous.
So I guess Spanky's got one of those those blue inflatable pools. It's not like a small kiddie pool. This is an adult size. It's an adult size swimming pool. She uses the shit out of it.
I'm just looking for something for just me to sit in.
I'm
not trying to swim. Yeah, I'm not trying to swim. It's more like an outdoor bathtub.
No, I don't know if you can swim in this thing. I don't think you can swim in it. You can lounge in it, and it's just refreshing, I suppose. But dude, even the water coming out of your hose is hotter than hell. I don't know how that's relaxing. It's like people soup. You get too many people in there, it's like a stew. Yeah.
That's why I miss. One thing I miss about Florida is because I lived in central kind of Florida. They had a freshwater springs, a clear water springs that would come out of the ground like crystal clear water, 70 degrees all year round. You'd be 100 degrees out, and you jump in that like 15 minutes, you start shivering. You're like, you got to get out because you start developing borderline hypothermia from it. So you got to get out and warm up. Yeah, that's great. No?
Cool. Okay, so here we are today. What is today? The 8th of July. 8th of July. Everyone have all their fingers from July 4th celebrations. Man, it was nuts. It was like a war zone out here. It was pretty cool. I ended up the fireworks were still going off. The neighbors, all of our local fireworks got called off because of fires. Probably made the national news. We had the fireworks display in Fort Worth was called off halfway through the show because it was sparking off fires. There was I think there was a bridge. Spanky gave us a picture for like a bridge in Stillhouse outside of like Temple Belton area that was on fire. And all over the North Texas area, man. It's just dry. It's a tinderbox here, man.
Didn't they have like a pipeline explode a couple days ago in Texas?
I heard about that. I don't know anything about it, though. I don't know anything about that. I heard about it. That's about it. But yeah, the neighbors were shooting off their big dog fireworks until, I don't know. It's like I was woken up at about 11 p.m. I put in some earplugs and I went back to sleep. So I don't know how late they went, but it was pretty late. So we got an update from our friend. If you guys remember Joshua Rohrer, he was on my show. I tracked him down after I found the news article. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of some updates on that. So Rohrer was originally arrested on October 13th, 2021 in Gastonia, North Carolina, and he was charged with soliciting alms, soliciting from a highway, 2 counts of resisting a police officer. During the arrest, police officers used a stun gun on his dog, Sunshine Ray. While he was in custody, Sunshine ended up escaping from a caretaker when he was incarcerated. They had taken him to jail, and then Sunshine Ray went with a caretaker. Well, Sunshine Ray escaped from the caretaker's place and was subsequently hit by a vehicle and died. So his arrest in October 2021 led to protests and calls for accountability led by community members. Community members who knew Joshua said that he never bothered anyone, and one couple who witnessed his arrest took video of what happened. The couple accused the police of escalating the situation unnecessarily. Joshua joined us here on Friday Night Freedom on October 29th, and we continue to rally support for his cause. Charlotte news station WCNC filed a petition for the body camera footage to be released in November of 2021, a month later. A judge denied the request. Superior Court Judge Stephen Fertrelli ruled, saying that the footage contained information deemed otherwise confidential or exempt from disclosure or release under the state or federal law. It would reveal information about someone that was highly sensitive. It could harm a person's reputation. It could create a serious threat to fair justice and needed to remain confidential to protect the then ongoing investigation. Yeah.
So what's the point of having body cams then if the public can't access them?
I mean, if anything untoward, I mean, you see all the body cam footage of, police officers helping stranded motorists and this, that, and the other. But when there's, suspected, wrongdoing, no, you can't see that footage. Sorry.
Well, I know that's specifically a North Carolina thing. I know some states that's public, what they call that, public information. All you have to do is put a Freedom of Information Act out, and they have so many weeks to produced, because that is public. It's considered public footage at that point.
It should be. I mean, all footage, I don't care if it's good or bad, needs to be public. I don't give a damn. But anyway, Spike Cohen, who is a former presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party, and who has also been on the show.
Been on the show? I was about to say, he's also been on the show.
So yesterday, Spike Cohen announced on his Facebook page, he said, after months of holding a bunch of bogus charges over Joshua's head, the Gaston County DA has finally dropped them. Now they have zero excuse not to release the body cam footage of Joshua's arrest at the hands of Maurice Taylor III, son of Internal Affairs Chief Maurice Taylor Jr. We will be meeting again at the Gastonia City Hall on Tuesday, July 19th, starting at 5 p.m., and we will be speaking to the City Council at this meeting, which occurs at 6 p.m. Our message remains the same. Release the body cam footage and stop stonewalling Joshua and the people of Gastonia who pay your salaries. Join us as we demand justice. So that came from Spike Cohen. Yeah, Spike kind of hopped on that train shortly after Joshua was on our show. And he's had a lot of help from Spike and a lot of help from especially the libertarian community. So I'm glad.
Spike's a local here where I live, actually. No.
Is he really?
Yeah.
So I think I think eventually the body cam footage is going to be released. See, I've got a different opinion. I'm thinking since the charges were dropped, there's no longer a case, so they might say that there's no need to release the body cam footage at all.
That's just them protecting themselves at that point.
Definitely.
That's what it boils down to.
I think it's all been like that.
But I've heard horror stories coming out of that Gastonia police department, like straight up crazy stories ever since this happened. I started reading into the whole police department, and apparently they've got a bad rap on them, from what I've read through the internet at least.
That sucks.
I'm not trying to personally put that out there. I'm just saying what I've read on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I still I don't have bad feelings toward police officers. As a whole, there's bad apples. But the thing is, the more that I pay attention, the more that I see there's more bad apples out there than originally thought.
The issue is in a lot of these police departments that the bad apples start taking over, and when someone good steps up and says, "Hey, this is wrong," they get shit canned almost instantly.
Well, it's
and
like they say, or it's like maybe it's if you fuck up, you move up. So somebody does something bad, and all of a sudden they're the people in charge, and then they start allowing this stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. All I can say is,
I've never been to Gastonia, so I wouldn't know what Gastonia is like. But I know my area is like when tourist season rolls around, all the homeless people wind up in jail. That's just the way it works.
So in Virginia,
it's sad.
I think there's a lot of police reforms going on. I just wish it would happen more and faster. I don't know. I can't put my. I can't. I don't know.
Spring Lake out of North Carolina. Is it Spring Lake, North Carolina, right outside Fayetteville, right outside Bragg? They actually fired their entire police department at one point because they were just so corrupt.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this was a couple years back. Actually,
it takes balls to do that. I mean, because you got to deal with police unions and whatnot.
They just straight up said screw you, and I think they had. I think it was the county. Took over as the police department. The sheriff's department took over for a while there. I don't know if they've ever reestablished the police department, but there was just some insanity coming out of that. And it's kind of like the whole Uvalde thing right now. I mean, that's insanity in itself too. So, I mean,
isn't that crazy though? People are saying, cops are saying one thing, administrators from the school are saying another thing, and supervisors are saying a completely different thing, and nobody's story is matching up. People got arrested and their guns taken away for going in and trying to help their family members.
Yeah, I was reading that woman that was speaking out to the news about her running in, I guess, getting her kids or whatever it is. The local police department has been harassing her of late. So that's just insanity at that point.
Yeah, Uvalde is just a super small town, man.
Too easy just to say, hey, we want to hold a town hall meeting and say, hey, we want the police department fired. We want the state police to come in and manage our stuff, or the local sheriff's department. That's what the sheriff's for, isn't it? No?
Yeah. I mean, at least hire some new officers. I mean, get some new training on the books. I don't know. Give them some more PowerPoints. What do they do in the Army? Do they give you online training to take?
Oh, PowerPoint.
They
need death by PowerPoint. Death by PowerPoint. That'll solve it. That solves all the Army's issues. This is death by PowerPoint. Dude gets randomly struck by lightning. 4-hour safety brief on lightning. That'll keep him from getting struck by lightning. Yeah.
Having sexual harassment, it's raping people is bad. Don't rape people.
I was watching last night's show and I was just dying laughing because ICE is dead ass right on most of that crap going on in the Army right now. That's all I gotta say.
Did he talk about that?
Oh yeah.
I think I caught about 5 or 10 minutes of the show and I was busy. Damn it. So I got. Did you see that Black Hawk video from Mount Hood?
I have not.
Mount Hood outside Portland? Was that Oregon? Oregon. I don't. Badass Army pilots doing badass Army things. Are these nasty girls? Yeah, these are nasty girl helicopters doing some badass things. So check this shit out. Here's the video. I turned the volume down so you can't hear it. So this is from Task and Purpose. An Oregon Army National Guard helicopter crew took the phrase cliffhanger literally this weekend when they landed a Black Hawk on a snowy ridge, a ridgeline about 3 feet wide, in order to rescue an injured mountain climber. The precarious landing took place last Saturday and was part of a rescue effort for a 43-year-old man who was climbing Mount Hood, a volcano east of Portland, Oregon. So that's pretty badass, man. If you guys, the article is kind of lengthy, so I'm not going to give you all the details. If you want, there's some seriously kick-ass details. So go to Task and Purpose, and that story is going to be there. It's just a really super good article. So according to the county sheriff's office, the man lost his ice axe. He fell 600 to 700 feet. And he sustained serious injuries around 6:30 in the morning. Professional and volunteer searchers combed the mountain before reaching the injured climber about 4 hours later. At around 1 p.m., the Oregon National Guard helicopter arrived and dropped off 2 medics, which is the video that we just saw. And they packed the patient into the litter, and then the helicopter returned, and they hoisted him into the helicopter, and they flew him to a Portland area hospital. So awesome.
I think that's crazier. Watching that, I think that's crazier than that Chinook landing and dropping in Afghanistan on that tiny little building, dropping troops off.
Oh yeah, they just had the little
door touchdown.
The door was touching the ground, and the rest of the helicopter was steady as a rock.
Oh man, that takes a pilot right there. That's all I gotta say.
See, on Mount Hood, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, they had a Chinook rescue some hikers, and it was kind of one of those same things. It was suspended in the air. The gate was down. People were getting on. But then again, I think it was last year, there was a UH-60 that crashed, hit the mountain, and rolled down the hill.
Oof. Oh.
So I can't. So I caught another. I'm banned on Twitter again. Did you hear about that?
It didn't take long.
It didn't. I mean, the first time I got banned on Twitter was during the election.
I remember that one.
and the thing is, I grabbed some graphics, and then I grabbed some graphics that said demand voter ID, and then I made a transparent PNG that had the Democratic National Committee's logo on there, the DNC logo. So it looked pretty freaking legit. So it said demand voter ID, and then it had DNC on it. So I got hemmed up for that. I got permanently banned, and the reason that they permanently banned me is because I was illegally. They called it illegally, but they said that I was trying to dishonestly influence an election or something like that. So I felt like a freaking criminal after that. So I, of course, like everybody does, I made another profile. I used a different email address, and so I was there, cause FNF or something for Friday Night Freedom. So was this yesterday or the day before? It may have been the day before yesterday. There was a video online. Someone posted a video of these out of control customers inside a French fry restaurant. It was like I don't know if it was a bougie type of restaurant, but it was just it was a restaurant where they sell French fries and all kinds of dips and seasons and stuff like that. But these girls were pissed off. These girls were super pissed off because let me see. I commented on a video that someone shared. The video is a group of 3 or 4 women. Let me pull up the video. Let me pull up the video just so we have the same thing to talk about. So here we go. I'm playing the video of these ladies. There's 3. There might be 4. But they were in New York City. They were trashing a restaurant and injuring the workers there because they were the offense. The reason why these ladies were so out of control is because they were charged an extra $1.75 because they asked for some extra dipping sauces. Dude, they messed. They injured the worker. I think there were 2 workers there. They injured at least one of them. He had to go to the hospital, or she. I don't know if it was a man or a woman. I'm not a biologist, but they were injured, and then they ended up destroying the whole counter and stuff. They're just tearing things up. What's kind of funny is these are that one girl. She's kind of a little thick. She had a hard time getting up on that counter and getting out of there. I don't know, man. So I got banned because what I said, I had to think about what I said, and then actually when I got an email back from Twitter and it says, this is why you were banned. I thought I said one thing, but I actually said another. I said, quote, sometimes people just need to get punched in the face, end quote. That's what I said. So I was promoting violence. That's why I got perma-banned from Twitter. So reading more into the news, I think they ought to arrest everybody there with a damn phone. And everyone there that was laughing at him and not trying to stop anything. They had a dude there that had a freaking selfie stick. So no, I'm not, Sin says, time for a new profile. No, I think I'm done with Twitter.
That's the main reason why I got off Facebook, because I started catching weird bans from crap I posted 10 years ago. So I was like, I'm done. I stay off Facebook now.
Yeah, I just, I have no, I think I was in a conversation with Spanky or something. I said, Twitter is nothing more than a pool that's filled up with about 99% piss. I'm just done with it, man. I don't care. I don't care that because there was a link in the email. Do you want to appeal? No, I don't care. So Kaz is off of Twitter. It's not like
It's funny though. They're going back to their old antics again of banning people and stuff like that, shadow banning people, because I guess I don't know if you saw. I guess Daddy Musk decided he wasn't going to buy it no more. He said, "I screw that out."
I saw that. I saw that right before we went up. He pulled out. He pulled out his offer. 44 million, or was it billion?
44 billion.
Billion with a B. Ugh. Okay. Now, what does that mean?
I don't know. I think he was just testing them at that point, because he threw they were all in a hussy trying to figure things out.
He seriously
Biden lost half of his people because they were bots. Half of his followers because they were bots. It was just insanity at that point.
He seriously twisted a lot of people's colons on that, and I don't understand what the big deal is. Someone just owns this thing. I think he was going to make it a little bit more open, make things a little bit more lax, a little bit more free speech friendly. And what was the reason behind him pulling out?
I think it was because of the transparency behind everything. Because I know he did say early into the whole thing, he was like, I want to see the actual users on here. And I guess apparently Twitter has been lying about its actual users or whatever it is. How many actual users? Most of them are fake accounts on there, which is the crazy part about it.
It's like AOC. They were saying that AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her follower base is, I don't even know what I can't look it up because I'm banned. But it's, you know, she has like a gajillion followers, and they're saying no, that's like 70% bots.
Thing happened with President Biden's account. I think 50% of the people that are actually following his account on Twitter were bots. Oh. It's just insanity at that point, no?
Gun Love Babe saying Kaz needs TikTok. No, Kaz does not need TikTok. I'd be horrible at it. I mean, I think I'd be bad at it. I don't care that much. I really don't care that much.
TikTok's fun. Just to browse.
I would browse it, and I do. I'll browse it, and you can browse it on your computer. I'm not going to download that on my phone. That's weird. I don't need to make silly videos like that.
At Facebook.
I like to watch. I do like to watch those videos because some of them are pretty damn funny.
I tried to actually like physically remove the Facebook app off my phone, and it would not let me.
Really?
Yes.
If I could get rid of Facebook,
3 hours trying to get it off there.
I think if I could get rid of Facebook and not use it, I probably would. And I'm probably like 60-40. I would. I use it just to keep in contact with people, my kids especially. But I've also got their phone numbers. We can text message and stuff. But I can live without it. If Facebook disappeared off the planet tomorrow, I would still live. It doesn't matter.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, Instagram, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everything can disappear. I'll be fine.
As long as I get to keep my YouTube, I'm happy.
Yeah, I do like the YouTube.
That's like my university there. If I need to learn something, I'm like, oh, well, I'll just hit the University of YouTube up, real quick, learn something real quick. When
I need to decompress, Netflix, you got to have Netflix. Oh, I just watched the final season of Stranger Things. I don't know. Have you been watching Stranger Things at all?
Yeah, I watched.
That was pretty cool, dude. That was pretty awesome. Lots of room for another season.
They definitely went out on a bang with that one.
That was a good one. I liked the music. I liked the Metallica in there. I'm like, oh my God. I wonder how much they had to pay Metallica to be able to use their music.
I don't know, but there was a guy about I don't know, when was it? A month before Stranger Things even released. He said the second part, not the first part, but he came on TikTok and he was like, he saw the one picture of Eddie holding the guitar. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but he says if he doesn't play Master of Puppets, the world is done for, and of course it was like,
it was. And then there's all these Jared Dines is a influencer guitar player. He's a musician. He plays drums and stuff. But he's just like, what other song would you have liked to have heard? And it's just, everyone was just chiming in with different songs. I wanted to hear some Iron Maiden or something like that, but Metallica was cool.
Hills or something.
Run to the Hills
would have been awesome at that point.
Or The Trooper.
The Trooper, that would have been good.
But yeah, it was cool, man. It was definitely cool. They've already Gunlove says that they've already confirmed a season 5, and I also heard that there's going to be like the Duffer Brothers are going to have like a spin-off with the way that I interpreted the article was it's going to be along the lines of Stranger Things. It's just a spin-off of it. Maybe it's like a prequel type thing like everyone else is doing. I don't know.
I just hope they don't Game of Thrones us. I just hope they don't do that. I just really hope they don't Game of Thrones.
We got our good friend Tyrone Lannister still looking for a job. Don't have a picture of our friend Tyrone. He's got a Facebook page though. I think he's got like 3 followers. Tyrion Lannister's bastard brother that never gets the work. He's got this big successful brother that makes all this money and never gives his other brother a break. So I will survive the permaban on Twitter. So this abortion thing still going on. I guess there's going to be some tonight. Is it tonight or no? Tomorrow there's supposed to be a march on Washington. And I saw some online talking of, people are trying to not coordinate outfits, figure out what they're going to wear. Are they going to wear their, not Puritans, what do they call it? The Handmaid's Tale outfit. I'm like, dude, you look like a ketchup bottle, but okay, if that's your uniform, then okay. But there's in Nashville, there's a guy, because people who are in business for themselves are always looking at ways, how are they going to drum up business? So this is pretty
entrepreneur,
pretty genius. So as an alternative to an abortion, many men have been opting to have a vasectomy, which is a reversible procedure that prevents pregnancy, or that it's rather successful at preventing pregnancy. Nothing is 100% foolproof. I mean, you get your tubes tied, you can still get pregnant. If you get snipped by a vasectomy, you can still produce sperm. It just doesn't go out. There's accidents do happen, right? So one local business in Nashville has been taking it up a notch, and it has been offering a free shake with proof of a vasectomy. The restaurant's called Daddy's Dogs. It's known for its hot dogs. It's offering a free milkshake to anyone who can prove that they've had a vasectomy. Snip for a shake has been offered to customers for the past 6 days, and so far 25 patrons have received a free shake. So those who are interested in receiving a free milkshake must show proof of the procedure getting done through a doctor's note or an insurance bill. The promotion is definitely great marketing about a serious and controversial topic. The owner said that the promotion goes through the end of July.
This is crazy, but
I mean, cool. That's cool.
I guess, yeah.
And that picture,
entrepreneur at that point.
I'm looking at that picture that I chose for this story, and that picture that's on that Daddy's Dog sign, that looks like the dude. That looks like the guy.
Look, Jed, I saw the guy the other day, and I was like, that looks just holy.
You look like the sign. So the guy said that, and if you're a woman, you've had a hysterectomy, or if you've had your tubes tied, you can go and you can get a shake too. He said he's not going to discriminate. He's all into the giving away free shit, which is cool. No cream for ice cream. Thanks, Sin. That's a good tagline.
Dear Lord.
Their milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard. So I thought that was pretty cool. But speaking of wieners, since we're talking about wieners and vasectomies and stuff, let's get this other story out of the way here. It's a Florida man story too, of all things.
Oh yeah, all hail Florida man.
So a Florida man is facing a felony battery charge for allegedly striking a police officer with a wiener.
A hot dog?
Let that sink in. Not his wiener, a wiener.
Okay, a hot dog.
Investigators say that Jason Stoll, age 47, it's weird because when I was at Fort Hood in 6th Cav, guy across the hall from me, his name was Nathan Stoll. I can't remember where he was from, though. That's not him, and that doesn't even look like him. So, anyway, Jason Stoll, age 47, was selling hot dogs on a downtown St. Petersburg street early Saturday when police gave him numerous warnings. They said he was in violation of a city ordinance. I guess you have to, obviously, if you're going to be selling food, you got to be licensed, and, you got to go through the proper food handling training and whatnot. No. It's just like now, not all of a sudden, but if you're going to be serving alcohol, if you're going to serve food, you have to have, health department certification. If you're a bartender, you have to go through bartender training in order to recognize overly intoxicated customers and stuff. So Stoll, however, ignored the warnings and continued to sell hot dogs on the roadway. What happened to the old days where you can just push around a hot dog cart?
Yeah, what about the elote man pushing this little cart around selling elote and stuff, like whatever happened to that, no?
Dude, I would tackle him. I've been looking for some good. The only restaurant that served good elote here closed down during Corona, and it was good. It was just so good.
It's a little neighborhood I used to live in when I first moved to Texas. This guy would come through every day pushing his little cart. He had ice cream and he would sell street corn. I don't think he had a license, but that corn was good. I never got sick from it. Huh? He had a tamale man in Houston that used to go around every bar late at night and try to sell tamales to the drunk people.
Dude,
no one ever bothered him.
You've walked around downtown Austin before.
Yes.
I know this is not the United States, but I mean, anybody who's been to Korea, walk around downtown, you get street vendors with all kinds of stuff hanging off of their I mean, dried squid and mussels and dog and whatever.
Street food is the best food. You just gotta know who you're eating it from, you know?
It's made with love. So the defendant was asked to put the hot dog down as he continued to attempt to sell it. When he was directed to drop the hot dog again more forcefully by the police officer, Stoll became extremely upset, and he threw the hot dog at a uniformed patrolman. The hot dog hit the officer, who was not injured. Stoll was later arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, which is a felony. He was also charged with resisting, which is a misdemeanor, for allegedly struggling with cops as they sought to place him under arrest. Something tells me he's going to go and see the judge. The judge is going to say, battery on a police officer, going to drop that, plead guilty to resisting,
yeah,
pay the fine, and get out.
That's the way they always do it. They hit you with something big, and they hit you with something small, so that way they can just be like, okay, we're going to drop the big case, just take the little one.
Yeah, we're charging you with murder and jaywalking.
It's about hey, that's how Virginia does it. Virginia will do you dirty like that.
Oh God. Says here in your report you were charged with murder, but that charge was dropped. So he was released. He was released from jail the next morning after posting. I'm sorry, the same morning after posting $2,650 bond. So I don't know how bond or what the difference between bond and bail is. I think bail is 10%. I don't know. Bond is just a number. Concept. Is it about the same? I don't know. Bond and bail.
I don't know. Like some states have a certain set on their bail or bonding amount. Huh? Like it's like 10%, but some states like the bailsman can drop it down to 1%, depending on who they know. Like so, a bond is essentially an agreement or a contract. In the context of bail, a bail bond is an agreement between the suspect and the court that a suspect will show up as required for all future court proceedings. So it's the same as bond. What's the difference between bail and bond? Bail is the money a defendant must pay in order to get out of jail. A bond is posted on a defendant's behalf, usually by a bail bond company, to secure his or her release. Defendants with pending warrants are usually not eligible for bail. Okay. So I guess bond is for not as dangerous criminals. Bail is for the dangerous people. I don't know, and I hope I never find out. In What's up, Phil? How you doing, Phil? Kazi Kaz. Michael Thomas, but he threw his wiener at me, and I was in fear of my life. The cop.
So I shot him. So I got some news from across the pond, but this is across the pond the other way. And you know how I was talking about being insulting online and getting banned and all this other shit? So in Japan, you can actually go to jail and you can face a fine for being insulting to another person.
Ooh.
This is weird. I got a couple stories coming out of Japan. So in Japan, posting online insults will now be punishable by up to 1 year in prison. This is really going to if any of my friends go, anybody here goes to Japan,
That screws them. All Americans.
You have to learn some online etiquette.
You are barred from Japan.
So the new law was passed earlier this year, but has now officially gone into effect. Individuals guilty of internet insults may be fined up to 300,000 yen, which is about $2,200. Previously, the fine was 30 days in prison and a maximum fine of 10,000 yen, which is about $75. In 3 years, the law will be re-examined to determine if its effects of freedom of expression, a point expressed by the bill's opponents, has been untoward, if people's free speech has been stifled too much. Japanese criminal lawyer Seiho Chow says that there is no clear criteria of what constitutes an insult. The law defines an insult as demeaning someone without a specific fact about them. At the moment, even if someone calls the leader of Japan an idiot, that may be true, but under the revised law, that could also be viewed as an insult.
I'll give it. The Japanese are very polite people, from what I understand. They don't make noise on the subways and stuff like that. And like talking is like a no-go, from what I understand.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like if you're sitting there, if your phone's loud and you're listening, like, you think about U.S. subways where everyone's just like blah 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 blah. You've ever been on the D.C. Metro early in the morning? You always got someone blasting their phone, and you got another person's got an audio book reading out loud, and you got two people having a full-blown it's loud and crowded. It's like part of their civil ethos or whatever it is, where they just sit there quietly. I don't know. Japan can be a really weird place sometimes. But the whole insult, if I call you an idiot just because I look at you, you're an idiot, now I'm going to jail because I didn't prove why you're an idiot?
I think, here in the United States, I mean, especially Twitter, you're an idiot or you're ignorant, that's more of an observation than an insult. But it gets so much worse than that. That's the lighter side of, if that's an insult, that's really, really super. That's way on the light side.
Probably due to cyberbullying. This cyberbullying, yeah, that's pretty bad over there. They have a really high suicide rate in Japan.
This rule or this law came there. There was some reality show celebrity that committed suicide because of cyberbullying, and that's where this is stemmed from.
Okay, because I mean, I noticed, like, from what I understand, they got a whole force they call it suicide force or something like that. I don't know if it's near Tokyo or something like that, but people go in there and just hang themselves from trees. It's nuts.
Oh, I've heard about that.
I think what's his name? One of the stupid YouTube guys went in there and was recording. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna go because apparently," and he actually found a body, and he got in trouble for recording it.
Oof, that's probably against some kind of law.
Yeah, well, it's nuts. Like, I saw Vice did a documentary on a suicide kind of thing in Japan.
I've got such a love-hate relationship with Vice. Sometimes they have some really riveting stuff that is really, really good. And then other times they have, it's just like, blah.
What the heck? Yeah, I know. Vice be hit or miss sometimes, but this one, they did a story on a guy who, he literally like flipped a coin. Like, he's like, well, he wanted to kill himself. So he flipped the coin and it came up, "Don't kill yourself." And he wanted to seek to help or whatever it was, but then he wound up killing himself down the road anyways. So, I mean, it could be their like work life. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of that is a culture that is completely unknown to me at that point. I mean, I watch anime, but I mean, I understand but work culture and stuff like that.
See, I know you do, and that's why I chose this picture for the. We're talking about Japan.
Well, you could have chosen a way better one.
Well, I'm sorry. It's the first one I came across. I don't know what's good and what's not, so I don't know.
It's like, I saw the picture pop up. It's like, I see what you're doing there, but you could have got way better with it.
So some more news out of Japan, and this is a pretty shocking, especially coming out of Japan. In other Japanese news, let me get down to the story here. Former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated by a man named Tetsuya Yamagami. Abe was campaigning. He was stumping for another member of Japan's upper house when a gunman approached from behind. The Japanese Secret Service was totally unprepared and caught off guard to react in time to save Abe's life. His guards were paying attention to him, giving the speech and not paying attention to the surrounding area. The first shot went off and it missed. Seconds passed, and then the second shot went off, striking Abe in the neck and in the chest, injuring him fatally. The weapon used was a homemade firearm, and you can see that in that right picture, the picture on the right. It was not. It looks like two pieces of tube,
two pieces of pipe,
and that was it, taped to a wooden board, and that's it.
See, Michael Thomas in the chat actually hit on it pretty good. This is about the conspiracies of apparently the attacker was Japanese Navy Defense Force.
Yeah,
I think I heard Defense Force.
Yes, whatever the Japanese Navy is, he was a member of that. He served 3 years.
So I mean, my tinfoil hat started kicking on because he was running to be prime minister again, wasn't he?
He wasn't running. He was stumping for a person that was running for the Japanese, the upper house. I guess that's the Congress. I guess that would be the American equivalent.
I don't know. It was just my little conspiracy because him and old D. Treasy were buddy there for a while. So and we got all this tension between China, Taiwan, and Japan's like, we're gonna help Taiwan, and it's I don't know. To me, I was just like, as soon as I heard the news, I was like, man, I bet you it was a Chinese assassin that got him, because he was he's been prominent about defending Taiwan. He wanted a standing military for the first time, and how long was it?
Forever, since World War II.
Yes, yeah, he was trying to push for an actual standing military that could stand up against and help defend Taiwan, or China or whatever. But
yeah, East China.
Yeah.
Or West China.
You mean West Taiwan?
West Taiwan. Yeah, whatever, So it's just and this all prompted me to look at, okay, I know guns aren't a common thing. It's like in the United States of America, in most states, probably half of them, more than half of them, very, very Second Amendment friendly, and whatever's left, about half of those they shall issue, and then others are kind of like, you really have to have a good reason. So in order to, let's say you were in Japan and you wanted to own a gun, what do you have to do to get to be able to own a gun? This is a very long list of the hoops that you need to jump through to get a gun. Guns are extremely hard to obtain in Japan. Getting a firearm involves 13 steps, the first of which is joining a shooting or hunting club. Those who want a firearm must then take a course on gun ownership, with a written exam at the end before getting a doctor to declare them mentally fit. That's followed by a day-long course at a gun range on how to fire and store a weapon, with another test at the end, in which they must receive 95% or better. Police will then speak to the owners about why they want a weapon and conduct a background check that involves interviews with the family, as well as checks on their relationships with neighbors, employment history, and financial status. If they pass, potential owners must apply for a gunpowder license and get a certificate from a weapons store that allows them to buy a specific kind of firearm, with only shotguns or air rifles allowed. Then they need to buy an ammunition locker and a gun safe, which is inspected by police who do another background check. Once purchased, the gun must be registered and inspected by police once per year to ensure that it is being stored separate from ammunition and that both containers are kept locked. Licenses expire every 3 years, with owners needing to retake a written exam to renew it. When a gun owner dies, they must turn in their weapons. The heir has to turn in all their guns. Each municipality in Japan can only have 3 gun stores. And new ammunition can only be bought by returning old canisters to ensure that people are not stockpiling it. That's nuts. Nuts, man. Is it nuts? To me, as an American, yes, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, some Americans, on the other hand, would want that. I mean, from what I was hearing, news articles a couple months ago, they were saying something along the lines of, look at Japan. They've got almost 0 gun crime and la-da-da-da-da. Ghost. And a ghost gun did it. This is what a ghost gun is.
This like
that's a ghost
legitimately.
Not like some dude holding up a Tech 9 pointing flagging the whole crowd. I can't remember what was a senator or whoever did that, but flagged the whole group of people. This is what a ghost gun is, and it's like,
I know. with his finger on the trigger inside the trigger housing. So here's kind of an outline of what kind of went on. Abe is up there doing his little speech, and he has 2 Secret Service, I'm going to say that, I don't know what the Japanese equivalent of that is, standing near him. But the thing is, they're paying attention to him. They're not paying attention to this guy walking up behind. I mean, there's like one level of security. I mean, let's say President Biden would come to your town. There are several layers of security in between the president and everybody else. When I was in Ohio, let me see, Obama was running for re-election against Perry? Romney. They shut down, I think it was I-75. I was leaving work. I couldn't get home because freaking Obama and Romney were on the way to like one of the field houses where I lived in Bowling Green. And I couldn't get home because they had all that shit just locked down. Anybody who was inside that perimeter was cleared. It was crazy. It's
like when Bush, former President Bush came to talk at Fort Hood. I talked about the insanity. They had HESCO barriers, Connexes, shipping containers stacked up. They made this massive wall around the First Cav headquarters. We had to go through all kinds of security to even get in. I mean, this is mandatory, by the way, for us. You're
like, dude, I fucking work here.
Yeah, well, 4:00 in the morning, we're marching the whole way from 4th ID side to the First Cav side because, we gotta go see the president. So, we're standing out for 4 or 5 hours out in the heat, sweating before the president even shows up. We're going through 1,000 different checkpoints. It was the whole base was logged out. It was insane at that point. It was, the security for the president of the United States is just batshit crazy.
Do you remember when President Clinton, he shut down an entire airport and all the airspace around the airport because he was getting a haircut on Air Force One? I mean, it's like nobody in or out. He was getting a haircut on Air Force One.
On the plane.
Plane.
He was. So they landed and he was getting a haircut and they had to shut the whole airspace down because of that.
Yes.
That's insanity. Insanity.
So Sin says, I did hear that stockpiled ammunition is useless. Now I'm scared to use my old ammo. I'm not.
As
long as you don't keep it in your garage, keep it in your house. Yeah. Maybe climate controlled.
Yeah. So I seen a video the other day. A guy was firing a bolt action rifle and he had a hang fire, which was epic because at first he pulled it, he heard the primer pop. I guess the powder was slightly wet or whatever. It took a second for the powder to ignite.
Oh no, so, that would be scary.
He was like, huh? And all of a sudden,
so he heard click and then he went, huh? And then he heard click pow and he went, ow. Oh, he heard click pop.
Pop, like the primer went off, but I guess it barely lit something was wrong with the powder or something at that point, but it straight up hang fire. No, it wasn't a squib. It was pop and then bang.
I've never had a hang fire. Never ever had a hang fire.
Apparently it happens with bad ammo. So that's the only thing you got to worry about if your ammo's old.
I don't know. I think I would be like, okay, would I pull the slide back? What would I do? Let's see. I hear click pop. and no bang, I'd be like, oh, fuck. I'd probably lay the weapon down with the muzzle down range and not touch it for a while.
You gotta clear it like you gotta clear a machine gun, you know, like.
Come here, Private.
Oh,
yeah, I don't think I've ever had, I've had like click nothing.
I've had some squibs, you know, like pull the trigger and you hear pow, and you feel the recoil a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it was the right amount of recoil. And there's the actual bullet gets stuck in the barrel. It just has enough to jam it about halfway down the barrel or whatever it is.
What do they call that in basic? Pop no kick?
I don't know. I was just called them squibs. I was at the firing range a couple years back, and some kid showed up with a blacked out 300 a 300 blackout with a silencer on it, and he's standing right next to me. I wasn't paying attention to what he was firing, and all of a sudden I sounds like a squib go off, like smack. Like I turned and looked real quick, and all of a sudden I started hearing smack, 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 smack. I'm like, oh, he's got a can on that thing. All right.
It does sound cool.
Of course, you know, there's that one guy saying, hey, you got to stand for that. Like, shut up.
Is it hard to get a
Not really.
Do you need a license for you need a license for a silencer, don't you? Not a license or a certificate or something like that.
It's a tax stamp. It's $200 tax stamp for the ATF. So they know you have it. You just got to pay it unless you live in Texas now. Texas, you can manufacture your own silencers.
How long do they last?
I don't know, man. It just depends on, you know, the baffling and all that stuff. It just depends on how well it's made.
I'm not talking about the silencers that are made out of fucking, 2-liter 7-Up bottles.
I mean, you probably get about
one or two.
1,000 rounds and some really good ones. Maybe it depends on how hot you get it. There's a whole spectrum on that. No?
And this is another thing that YouTube is really good for. You can see how a silencer works. I think Smarter Every Day did a story on how do silencers work, and it's amazing. There's a lot of science behind it. Legit silencers.
I don't understand the whole concept of banning silencers. Me personally, because if you're like a legal gun owner and you're at a range, you know, it's nice to just drop the decibels down a little bit so you're not blowing your eardrums out every time you fire your firearm.
Yeah.
I mean
it still makes a lot of noise. It doesn't make the big noise.
I mean, fire a 308 out of the silencer, and it's still going pow. You know, it's making a noise still. It's just not as much noise.
It's not a crack. It's more of a pop.
Of course, you're shooting like a 22, and then with a silencer, and that sounds all you can barely hear is the pin hitting the dang primer at that point.
All right, so what do you say we take a break? We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about some snails invading Florida. What else do we have?
No.
Monkeypox. We're going to talk about monkeypox because this is pretty interesting information. Harley Davidson's got a new product line coming out. How to make money, or money to be made if you choose to take another flight. If you're in the airport and you're going from A to B, and they said, "Hey, we're going to give you some dollars." Got a story about that, and then we got some Spotify information coming out. So just hang tight. What is that slide? Oh, Japan gun laws. I had a really cool graphic for Japan gun laws, and I didn't even use it. All right. Oh, that's cool. It wasn't in my notes, so I never put it down there. Okay, we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna be back in just a little bit. Hang tight. The rest of the show is gonna be a lot of fun. Thanks. Shots. Oh, God.
WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, Mia, you better hide your baby, or
you better hide that big-ass forehead.
All right, we are back with part two of Friday Night Freedom here on WTF Nation Radio. My name is Kaz, and up there is Pookie, and we're here for your enjoyment and entertainment. How's everybody doing? Thanks for hanging out over the break. I guess what do you want to do? Just get back into it. A lot of talk during the break about what's up, Elizabeth. How are you doing? There was some talk during the break. Where was it? I think Michael Thomas said Japan has kids cutting off their mom's head and putting it in a bag and then bringing it to the police office.
Yes,
I guess that
I
goes.
read about this.
I guess that goes to prove that's just evil exists on all levels. It's not a gun thing. It's a in here thing. It's it's what's in your head, what's in your heart.
Elizabeth. You can't stop evil. You can't regulate evil. You can't do it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's gonna
look at France and Europe for an example, all they got to do is rent a box truck and have a bunch of guys with knives run through, the street, and they can mess a Christmas.
A lot of folks getting cut and died and stuff. I mean, even in New York, as restrictive as their gun laws are, there was a bodega owner. I'm not schooled on the actual thing, but the actual owner of the bodega who was being robbed and assaulted stabbed the assailant, and the assailant died. There's murder charges against that guy.
Oh, I saw that. And that's like someone told me something about Australia. I don't know if it's true. Someone in the chats might be able to tell me this. I know that guns are illegal or whatever. No, it's Canada. It was Canada, not Australia. If someone breaks into your house and you shoot them, you're going to go to jail in Canada.
Until you're not allowed to protect yourself?
You're not. Well, you have to call the police and wait, no?
No.
I don't know if it's true or not. Someone said, I don't know. Someone said something similar about that in Australia. I was like, well, I thought all firearms were illegal in Australia, so I don't know how that works. I think they might be able to have like bolt action rifles because I know they've got some crazy animals out there or something.
Everything, and I mean, I'd use that on spiders, man.
Yeah, well, some of them, huntsmen, what do they call them? Huntsman spiders?
Ones
that are like,
they're this big. They're this big. They look that big. It's just, it's like that fallacy of, camel spiders. And you see those perspective videos of the camel spider looking like it's as big as a small child. Yeah.
Yeah. You get a perspective of the dude standing behind it. And it makes it look like camel spiders only get about.
I've never seen them that big. Every time I saw them, they were maybe.
I'm talking about with their legs out. Like
with their legs out, maybe as big as the palm of my hand, from my fingertip to the heel of my hand. It's about as big as I've seen.
Well, perspective again, like I said.
Unless I did it like this, it's that big.
It's that big.
Michael Thomas, you got a really good point. Mental health issues are a worldwide issue too.
That's something that we've been ignoring. Really, I think we're failing in a nation on our mental health.
It's almost
our health in general.
It's all. I mean, really. Because I was having marital issues, and my wife's like, "Hey, let's go to marital counseling." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, my insurance will pay for it," but I'm like, "Well, crap," because I've got security clearance and all this other stuff, and all that is reviewed every couple of years, and I didn't want anything like that adversely affecting it. And it affected my relationship terribly. It's probably something I should have done. Hindsight is 20/20. But it's almost, there's a stigma, and there's a stigma in the civilian world just as much as there is in the military to go to mental health counseling.
Well, I'll say the VA's on spot with it, kind of in a bad way, because you say something just slightly. Because I was at a first checkup that when I first moved down to Florida, I went in and first meet up with my primary care.
Those questions are weird, and they're almost off-putting.
Well, the doctor was talking to me. She's like, how much do you drink? How much do you smoke? And she was, one of them doctors like, oh, that's going to kill you. And that's going to kill you. And that's going to kill you. And that's going to kill you. Your blood pressure is going to kill you. Like one of them doctors.
Yeah.
And eventually, after she said about like 20 things that's going to kill me, it says, we all got to die one day. And she stopped the whole interview.
He's suicidal.
And sent me to talk to a shrink. And I said, I was just speaking the truth. No one lives forever. No one lives forever.
It's a fact.
I'm not scared of my mortality. She's trying to freak me out about my mortality. I told the shrink that, and he was like, "Oh, well, that makes sense." And then he started talking for me. So you ain't using drugs? I was like, "No, I drink a little bit, and occasionally, partake in the devil's lettuce." And he just laughed, and he was like, "All right, you're good then."
But the thing is, if you said that and they didn't do anything, and then you went out and and drove a bus into a fucking convenience store and killed everybody.
I guess so. That's right. They're on point by doing that, but I just got sick of hearing her say that. It was like I spoke a hard truth. One day I'm gonna die. You keep telling me I'm gonna die. I know it's inevitable at that point.
Man. So, speaking about dying, let's talk about dying for a little bit. Snails are going to be dying here in Pasco. Was that Pasco?
The snails County? That will kill you? The snails that can kill you?
They can kill you. But it's not. But it's not like this. Like you're dead. It's they carry like meningitis and stuff like that.
Rat worm or some crap. Rat lung worm or something.
That's exactly it. The Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services is warning Pasco County to beware of the giant African land snail that can carry a rare rat lungworm called, I'm going to try to pronounce this, and I'm probably going to butcher it. Angiostrongylus cantonensis, which can cause meningitis in humans. The giant African land snail is one of the most invasive pests on the planet, causing agricultural and environmental damage whenever it's found. This dude will devour just about any leafy green vegetable, and their diet requires calcium, so they will also devour the stucco off of the side of your house.
Concrete. They'll literally start eating concrete if they can't find their calcium.
Yes, sir. The department said on their website that they will treat properties with a specific snail bait that is a metaldehyde-based molluscicide labeled by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency as residential use. Metaldehyde is a pesticide used to control snails that's approved for crops, fruits, trees, avocados, and citrus orchards, berry plants, banana plants, and in limited residential areas. The pesticide interferes with the snail's mucus production ability, reducing their digestion and mobility, which makes them susceptible to dehydration. So they're just going to dehydrate the crap out of them.
Just going to drop some salt on them?
I mean, that's the fun way. I think that works for slugs. Slugs, yeah.
Time that Florida's dealt with this, though. You know that, right?
They had it, and it was eradicated last year. But it was the same. It was from the same family, but it's a different snail that they eradicated last year. But now there's this one. But I've seen lots of TikTok videos and videos that end up on Facebook of people that have these things as pets, like big ass snails.
That's the issue with Florida in general. You know, like these people.
Isn't that how the python get out of control?
No, I think. Okay, I've heard mixed stories from Floridians, being an ex-Floridian, I guess. One was, what was it? Hurricane Andrew had come through, and it damaged a facility that had some in there, and they escaped to the Everglades that way. Another one was
how fast do snails run?
I don't know. It's like that the immortal snail question. You know, do you want to have a snail chase you the rest of your life? You have all the money and you're immortal, but as soon as the snail touches you, you die. That was the big question going around the internet like a year ago. You know,
is it the same snail, or is it like any snail?
No, it's the same snail. He's slowly chasing you.
Oh, I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah, I'll do that.
But the snail is intelligent.
Okay, was he gonna hop a plane?
Yeah.
And they travel slithering on their mucus little trail at but not very fast. I can go anywhere. So like every 10 years or 20 years I have to relocate. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Always looking over your back for a snail.
Oh, there he is. I might want to catch the bus to the other side of town. So yeah, that's going on in Florida. But yeah, I mean, look at the python. I mean, they got the not the ball python, but the Burmese python. Those things they're catching like 20 footers now.
Oh, a buddy of mine got on the bounty program, and he's been making good money doing that. Huh? They actually extended the bounty program down there from when it was just. They were talking about stopping it, but I was reading something. There's something. No, it's the raccoons. Is it the raccoons? There's something out in the Everglades that's devouring, like literally devouring their egg nests. Like it's specifically searching for their eggs to eat them.
You know, if you get rid of one species, another species is going to flourish, and it's going to become a problem. So another species is going to have to be introduced to get rid of that other species. We had the same problem at work. We had egrets and we had bobcats. So they wanted to get rid of they wanted to get rid of the egrets, so they introduced bobcats. Bobcats got rid of the egrets, which were flying into airplanes, which are huge. These egrets are like herons. They're big. They're not as big as herons, but they're huge birds. But then once their food source was gone, the bobcats needed to go somewhere else to find food. And they were ending up in the hangar. They were ending up in our storage areas, our run stands, on the airfield, having litters of their cats. So it's like, okay, call animal control. These guys need to go somewhere else. So they went and captured all the bobcats and then released them out. But then when their food source dwindles, they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to go into neighborhoods and they're going to eat cats and they're going to eat dogs.
That's what's happening with American coyote. They're natural. If you look at the map, their original span has spread something insane now. They're like considered an invasive species some places in the United States.
I see coyotes every day when I go to work.
No, that's a Texas
They're everywhere.
thing,
Yeah, they're everywhere.
But being up in Pennsylvania and you start seeing coyotes running around, you're like, what's going on here? That's not normal at this point, But I don't know. The invasive species thing, we've been dealing with that for a long time. The snakehead, Virginia and Maryland, we're dealing with the snakehead, northern snakehead fish, and those are the most delicious fish on the face of the earth, I think.
Are they?
You fry them up the right way, they taste just like you fry them up, their fillets. Kind of, my buddy had the best way to do it. I don't know. I kept asking him how to do it. He would never tell me how to do it, but he would fry them up, the fillets up, and it would have the same flaky kind of texture as a lobster tail.
Okay, I got that.
Maybe. And it would add this kind of, but it would be like a fried fish kind of, like, I don't know how to explain it. It had the lobster tail taste, but it was fried fish.
So it had the crunch like deep fried catfish, but it had the taste of lobster. That sounds really freaking good.
Yes. So I mean, I used to go fishing for them all the time because I was stationed at Fort Belvoir, so that's like part of the Chesapeake Bay, watershed kind of area, and they used to have competition. That's how I think they beat it, was just saying, hey, you can fish as much of it as you want and eat it all you want. They showed people how to cook it up and stuff like that. So
what you got to do is you got to use that as lobster roll meat. And saying, here, this is a lobster roll. We're going to call it a lobster roll. And then serve that, and no one's going to know.
I mean, there's restaurants now in, I guess, the D.C. area.
It's a local thing. This is a local thing for up there.
Well, see, the thing about it is they're starting to spread outside of because I guess there was like a dam or something that kind of kept them from going any further, but somehow they've gotten introduced into some of the freshwater bodies up in like Anna area. They've started finding snakeheads up there, and some of the it's like people are introducing them now at this point because they're like, they're so good to eat. I guess.
This broadcast. This Michael Thomas, and I'm going to expand on that. This broadcast is sponsored by Old Bay Seasoning.
No, you got me talking about fish. Sorry.
Okay, well, let's talk about monkeypox then.
Oh God,
that's made the news. There's a big outbreak of the monkeypox, which is kind of like smallpox, but it's made from monkeys. Oh, let's read a little bit further into this before we start jumping into conclusions. Monkeypox was first discovered in 1958 when outbreaks occurred in colonies of monkeys kept for research, resulting in its name. The first case of humans was reported in 1970 in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, which still has the majority of the infections, and then the rest of the majority of infections occur in any of the Africa states. According to the CDC, human symptoms of monkeypox are similar but milder than the symptoms of smallpox. It presents itself as a flu-like an illness accompanied by lymph node swelling and rash on the face and body. Monkeypox starts out with a fever, headache, muscle aches, exhaustion. It also causes lymph nodes to swell, something that smallpox does not. The incubation period is usually 7 to 14 days, but can range between 5 and 21 days. According to a recent article, this is interesting. According to a recent article in Science magazine written by Kai Kupferschmidt, he's a German journalist. The overwhelming majority of those affected by monkeypox are men who have sex with other men. Interesting. Maybe it's something in semen? I don't know. It would seem to be that if it's most... and here I am thinking off the fly here. What about men who have sex with women? Why isn't it more prevalent there? But I mean, it's obvious. He cites several studies that it's the overwhelming majority of those affected by monkeypox are men who have sex with men. Weird.
Oh well, I don't know where to get into that with that, but
I don't know either. And I was looking at these two pictures, and no, these aren't the same two guys. The guy on the left is the author, and the other guy is the guy that has monkeypox.
Like a bad case of chickenpox. But what was I gonna say? Wasn't there like a incident in Pennsylvania like a year ago, early this year, where there was a crash with the truck and a bunch of monkeys escaped, and they were all experimental monkeys, not experimental monkeys. Yes. They were monkeys used for medical experimentation. Yeah.
And now we're getting the monkeypox.
Yeah, with tinfoil hat on.
Let's put that tinfoil hat on a little bit tighter. Yeah. But I mean, there's a large outbreak in New York State. California has it. Texas has it. There's a large outbreak in Europe. Let me see if I can.
So just don't make physical contact with people. I already do that, so I'm good.
Monkeypox map. How about that? Oh, there's a good one.
Apparently, the smallpox vaccination helps prevent that, though. So I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, this article that I took the information from says that there were like pop-up clinics that would, they would pop up and they would give the monkeypox vaccination, but they would run out. They would run out of their serum. So it looks like it's really kind of huge in Europe. Here, Spain, Portugal, North Africa, Saudi Arabia. Looks like UAE is in there. South America's got a little bit of a blip. Mexico's got a little bit of a blip. North America has something in way north in Canada, and then just the United States in general.
Mm.
But there's the size of these blips is small. But what does that mean? There's like 117 or 120 in New York City, 117 in California, like 6 or 8 or 10 in Texas.
The little measles outbreaks that we have like occasionally in the States. There's there's some measles, everyone panics, and that's the end of it. Huh?
The CDC did go on to say that this isn't like a coronavirus type of outbreak. This is a very specific targeted outbreak. It's not like you're going to walk by somebody or ride the bus with somebody and then get the monkeypox. I guess you got to bump uglies or something. Exchange bodily fluids. Fuck yeah.
It reminds me of. Do you ever watch the X-Files? Like OG X-Files?
Yeah.
Remember that one episode where it's like it starts out, there's just like, I guess he was like a biologist in the jungle somewhere, and he stumbles across this like dead boar or something like that, and he's looking at it, and it's got this weird like pus all over it, kind of, and all of a sudden he gets close and disturbs it a little bit, and one of the spore pus like hits him in the face. And then he comes to the States, and then it gets like really conspiracy theory level at that point. But
what is the Dustin Hoffman movie? Is Outbreak? The movie Outbreak.
Yes. And then there was one that had Matt Damon in it. Matt Damon. Yeah. That was an Outbreak. It was something else, Pathogen or something like that. Or
that was actually a good movie. He's trying to save his daughter, and he was
well, that whole movie had like multiple. Actually, that whole movie kind of reminded me of the whole like COVID's thing popping up without the people mass graves. Yeah. God damn. That's what I call it. Sorry.
So Sin over on the YouTube chat says that the AIDS is now controlled, therefore a new virus is being introduced. Yeah, I've got so little faith in government, not just our government in the United States, just like all government. It's all a big power play. What's going to benefit them?
It's the government that I see and you see every day, and you hear their stories and you see their social media. That's the one that I don't really worry about. It's the one that you don't see, and it's there pulling strings on things, like like the weapons, not the weapons labs, the bio labs in Ukraine. Everyone said didn't exist, but then apparently there was some there, and the Wuhan clinic that was testing specifically, a certain thing that wasn't supposed to be, from that area, and now we've got so there's
What I don't like is in this context of talking about diseases, you will read or you'll see a headline that'll say like, oh, researchers have determined that the Rona, the COOF, whatever you want to call it, did not originate in China. It originated in the United States. But then a week later, like below the fold, something inconspicuous will say, nope, it was China. And then you read another article a couple of weeks later, no, it was definitely China. And then another article that says, contradicting articles. Same professionals, same epidemiologists saying two completely different things.
Well, that's like, I don't know if you remember, this was maybe like a couple of years back. There were Senate hearings over Lyme disease.
The ticks.
Yes, being leaked from a lab inside the U.S.
From New York. That came off of an island off of the coast of New York. I forget the name of it. Yeah, there was definitely a biolab there.
Yeah, and they were studying this crap, and there was a Senate hearing over that, but it kind of got like one of those. It kind of got like what's it, a keyhole, pigeonhole, or whatever the word is. Like it wasn't in the media. No one really talked about it. And now he's got a new tick floating around. Did you hear about that one? It's an Asian longhorn tick or something. I was on the news today. I didn't really get to read much into it.
Is this the one that makes you allergic to meat?
No, that's a Lone Star tick that does that.
Okay, all right.
I know the Lone Star. I actually have a friend of mine in Virginia who contracted whatever. It's like a bacteria or something. It triggers your immune system, and I think it makes you like
Plum Island. Plum Island is what I'm talking about. That island off of New York. Thanks, Sin.
But it's like, at what point do you just like, hey, we're scientists, we can do it, but should we do it? It's like the whole Jurassic Park thing. You're too caught up if you could do it, you didn't think of if you should do it.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. Like that whole CERN thing everyone is saying. We're still here, by the way. We're still here. CERN kicked on, and we're all still here.
It did restart. Oh my gosh! I remember right before that was going to be kicked off. I mean, years before, that was supposed to, that whatever's in CERN was supposed to be here in Texas. They started building it and then they cut funding.
I was watching an article where this guy was talking about particle accelerators and stuff like that, and he's going to the extent of we need to build a particle accelerator on the moon using the entire moon circumference.
Okay.
And I was like, why? Apparently, it could be like 1,000 times, 100,000 times more powerful than what we got right now.
Because you're in like 4% of Earth's gravity. So,
like, all right, you guys keep playing around, but when you do open the portal to hell, I'm going to blame you all for it.
Well, if you're going to open a portal to hell, I'd rather have it be opened up on the moon.
Oh, that's like the whole premises of Doom.
Right.
Do it on Mars.
But that's what the Space Force is for. They'll protect us. Our defenders will protect us.
Did you see their what's it, half left?
Oh my gosh, it's like they're dancing. They've all, one of the requirements to be on Space Force is you have to actually have had dance lessons.
I saw that, I was like, what the? And then, of course, it was Angry Cops. What's his name?
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
So he's in his just on high, like, because I felt the same way when I saw it. And as soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh, never mind, he's got this.
That's our military. I mean, whatever drilling ceremonies. They have to separate them, not separate themselves, but they have to distinguish themselves from other branches.
I guess
The military, the Marine Corps distinguishes itself from other branches. Just their drilling ceremonies is just impeccable. Their uniforms are outstanding.
They have a different step time than the rest of the branches. From what I think, like 180 beats a second or something like that.
I don't know.
I wouldn't know. Don't quote me on that. They all have something. We all have something different. Space Force just does this weird robot move.
It's a shimmy shake. Let's see, my daughter was in dance. What are they? Dégagé or a changement? Change? A change? Like, I don't know. A step change. It's weird. If you haven't seen it, just look up Drilling Ceremonies Space Force and you'll see it. It's pretty.
Did you see their ranks on their dress?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Star Trek, can we borrow your homework? Okay, but don't make it look too obvious.
Don't copy it exactly. Oh, we love the Space Force. Still don't know what they. I heard that there's like some more, not legislation, but more legal fighting between the Department of Defense and the state of Colorado, like changing, like Space Command is in Colorado, so changing, the like Space Force headquarters to Alabama.
What?
Yeah.
I did hear something about that. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but
it's true. Some of it is. I mean, it's all true.
Is there their headquarters were supposed to move to Alabama?
To Alabama,
or something like that.
Yeah. Fort. Not Rucker. Not Rucker. Where the hell? Google. Come on, Google. Work for me here, baby. Space Force.
Is it in like the Air Force, like the Space and Missile Command? Just that's pretty much what the Space Force is now, right? Huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They kind of just like shut it off and made a different branch for it, huh?
Oh Jesus. Peterson, Shriver, Vandenberg, Colorado, Florida, California, California. Where the hell? No, there was an Alabama in there.
I do vaguely remember that, unless it's CERN done messed that up and changed some things.
They're scrambling my Google search.
Hey, my peanut butter went from Jif to Jiffy again. Just FYI.
What do they call it, Jiffy now?
No, it was the theory was that it used to say Jiffy, and then it went to Jif after they fired everything up because they split the dimensions or some crap like that. And I was just making a joke to this back to Jiffy again.
Moving from Colorado Springs to, oh my gosh, I hate all these. Space Command is to move from Colorado to Alabama, but federal investigation finds significant shortfalls in an article that was in June. So I think it's an in-process thing, but there's a lot of people bitching and complaining. Where in Alabama, though? Looking for the place in Alabama.
Isn't there a big like Lockheed Martin or one of those big?
There is an aviation like center of excellence or whatever for the Army. Damn it! I need to know. It just says Alabama. It doesn't say where. Someone help me out. It doesn't say. It just says Alabama. It doesn't say where in Alabama. I know exactly in Alabama. I'm going to be co-located there here in a couple of months.
I don't know how we went from monkeypox to Alabama, but
because we're talking about CERN, and that brought us to Space Force. Redstone
Arsenal,
which is in. This is going to eat me up.
You got to know it now.
I got to know exactly the city. Oh, jeez. Redstone, visual impressions. No.
Can't find anything anymore. Redstone. It's all Mandela. This is all a Mandela effect.
Huntsville, Alabama. That's it. Huntsville, Alabama. So yeah, it's yeah. It'll be in Huntsville. Huntsville has got a lot of cool shit there, and like Army Aviation headquarters is there. So when we develop new aircraft, it's going to be developed and tested at Redstone,
that's cool.
Which is really pretty cool. It's really going to be awesome. So I'll live in some kind of corporate housing for like a month, and then I'll come back to Texas, and then I'll be in Texas for a month, and then back to Redstone.
Holly came in about a minute ago and said it's in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yep. Thank you.
About a minute ago.
Holly's like the smartest. She keeps us straight. She has an influx of details.
Why I love the people that listen to us is because if I start running my mouth about something that I don't know about, they'll correct me very quick.
And we're good with that. We run with what we think we know. If we don't know, we'll tell you. And if we get corrected, we will
I'm wrong.
Definitely accept the correction. I was wrong. You were right.
Thank you for the bit of information. I am now a little bit smarter than I used to be.
Yeah. So let's talk about Harley Davidson. You a motorcycle guy? You like motorcycles? I know Ice is.
I'm a dirt bike guy. I was until like my back and my knees started, going to crap. But I'm more of the, I like the dirt. And I've fallen on the dirt enough times to know that I definitely don't want to do that on concrete or asphalt. So, yeah.
These don't look like those kinds of bikes. But Harley Davidson has revealed a line of military-themed motorcycles that tip their hats at the brand's efforts during World War II. Harley Davidson supplied the U.S. Army with thousands of WLA motorcycles during the war and continued to build it through 1952. It was specially designed with features needed for combat duty in rough terrains, including fenders, heavy-duty luggage racks, and in some cases, scabbards large enough for a Thompson submachine gun. Essentially a two-wheeled version of the Willys Jeep, the WLA has lived on in pulp culture as Captain America's ride of choice in the Marvel Universe. Harley Davidson's new GI Enthusiast collection pays homage to this history with an appearance package offered on the 2023 Pan American 1250 Special GI Adventure Bike and a Tri-Glide Ultra GI Trike.
I don't technically... Okay, I could strip a bunch of stuff off that Pan American. I don't... That LED light on the front of it is ridiculous to me at that point. But you strip it down a little bit, you got a nice little off-road bike, throw some new tires on there, get rid of them fenders, and you're good to go at that point, huh?
Get rid of your bulk.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's not like they're making a new bike. This is a bike with a new appearance package. It's not like it's new mechanics and stuff. It's a Harley.
When it comes to like street bikes, though, I've always been an Indian guy. I like the look of the Indians over the Harleys, but that's just, I guess a preference thing. I wouldn't ride them because I'm scared to death of the damn thing. So.
Michael Thomas says they look good, just like the new bikes. They are the new bikes. I think they just have a different fascia package to them. So check this out. The brand said that this pair honors Harley Davidson's community of riders who have and continue to serve in the United States Armed Forces. Thank you very much. Prices start at $20,799 for the Special GI and $38,099 for the Ultra GI, which is the trike.
Yeah, you got to take a mortgage out for a house.
That's nuts, dude.
A 30-year mortgage out.
That is nuts. That is really nuts for nothing more than paint job.
At that point, you could buy your own welding kit and machine set, and build your own bikes.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It makes no sense to me at that point. I don't know about building motors or anything like that.
You'd have to have some talent for that.
But if you're gonna, I don't know. I don't know. That's way too expensive for a motorcycle.
I think they look good. I don't think that we had a new guy come in. He was a Marine, or he is a Marine. He got out, medically retired, went to college, He's one of my engineers, and he's a Harley super enthusiast. He's probably got 2 or 3. Loves motorcycles. And the way that he talks about them, like 2 years ago when he showed up, I was ready to go down with him to a Harley shop and buy one. But then just driving, I'm not even worried about the price. It was one of those in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Being on a motorcycle is not very safe. Traffic here sucks. Drivers are super aggressive. Being on a bike is just horrible.
Oh, I don't know how many guys I've almost ran over ride bikes in the DC area on like the 95, 395, 495 area because they don't care. That's just some of them guys have like a permanent death wish. So like you go to cut over or pass, and these guys are hopping in between lines and stuff like that on their little Hayabusas or whatever.
Hayabusa, yeah.
Yeah, going 100 miles an hour, going, and you go to turn, and next thing you know, you see a guy like flipping you off because you cut him off. I didn't cut you off. You're doing 200 miles an hour.
You know, I think there is no law that prohibits line splitting, which is, I mean, traffic is backed up. So if you're in a car, traffic is on a 75 mile an hour freeway, you're going to be doing 30 miles an hour, or you're not going to be going anywhere. But these motorcycles are just going between the cars, like on the white stripe line, 30, 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. They're just passing everybody.
That's it. I propose bike lanes on the interstate. like they do in DC, where you get the stupid one little lane on the side where the bikers don't.
Like where the breakdown lane would be.
Yeah, well, something similar to that, but you know, the bikers never follow it. They never go into it. They just ride the main traffic and just don't even care. I don't know if you've been in the DC area. Never, and I'm going to try to keep it that way. The bikers are suicidal in DC area. That's something else. And I'm talking about just your regular old pedal bikes. Not the motorcyclists. These guys will cut you off. They'll go down the wrong direction. They don't stop at lights.
Michael Thomas says, you can't pay me to ride a bike in Maryland. The roads are horrible and the drivers are crazy. I've heard that from more than one person.
Yeah, DC, that whole DC, what do they call it? Nova or whatever the heck, not Nova, DMV, it's the DMV, it's the DC, Maryland, Virginia or whatever. I don't know what they used to call it back when I was living there, but I don't know how anyone would want to ride a motorcycle. Like I wanted a freaking up-armored freaking striker, like.
So if you're not going to ride a motorcycle, perhaps you will fly. And I know that you don't like the air travel. But there's a way to make money in this. There's a story that it just came out last week. Nuts, dude. This is nuts. Amid growing concerns about travel delays and cancellations during the 4th of July weekend comes the word of a jaw-dropping offer from one U.S. airline. Last week, a Delta Airlines flight from Grand Rapids, Michigan to Minneapolis, Minnesota was overbooked. In order to resolve the issue, Delta reportedly offered passengers on that flight $10,000 to get bumped to a different flight. Not every passenger on that flight took that offer, but a lot of them did. Jason Aten, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, Aten, Aten, a tech columnist for Inc. magazine, was on the flight along with the family, waiting to take off when the flight attendant broadcast over the intercom for volunteers to accept $10,000 to change their flight. Atten wrote that the airline was looking for 8 volunteers to give up their seats on what they said was an oversold flight and offered $10,000 each. Quote, "If you have Apple Pay, you'll have the money right now," the flight attendant said. A spokesperson for Delta said that there is compensation available to ground staff to give away when such incidents take place. The compensation provides our employees with the ability to ensure that our overbooked flights are able to take care of customers and then ultimately dispatch or get our aircraft out on time. Airlines lose a lot of money if they're not out on time. That the door's got to be closed. As soon as that door's closed, that means it's departed. That's why they don't open it up after it's gone. So the airline had previously increased the maximum compensation limit that it would pay to entice passengers to get off oversold flights from about $1,350 to nearly $10,000. If I'm traveling by myself, I would be very much enticed to accept $10,000. If I was traveling with my family and we were on a vacation and we were coming back, especially the coming back part. Usually when you go on a vacation, when it's time to come back, you're exhausted. You want to get back home. You want to get things, set up and get back into your routine. I would be really, or if I'm on a business trip, I want to get back to see my family.
Just imagine like being in Vegas, you just landed in Vegas and they're like, you're just like, it's kind of like I don't know, like what do they call it? Like a stop. And they say, we'll give you $10,000 to play. Oh, hold on. I'll take the $10,000, cancel my flight. I'll reschedule a new flight. Just go hit the town up.
I would be extremely tempted. I probably would take the money. I would take the money, put $10,000 in my pocket. They're going to book me on another flight. It's not going to cost me any more money. It's just going to be a different flight. I've been bumped. I've been on flights before where, because of weather or whatever, the airline puts you up in a hotel, transportation to and from. Your next flight is usually at a very undesirable time, but you're still going to get back home. Holly's like, I'm taking the money. Kids are not. I mean, $10,000 is $10,000. $20 is $20, man.
I mean, someone did I think it was a TikTok or YouTube video.
He says I'd make
a porno. Yeah. No, I saw like a TikTok or I think it was a TikTok or one of the YouTube shorts a while back where this guy was breaking it down, like compensation to the airlines. They're actually like, they've got like a really crazy, like what they can compensate you for.
Yeah.
Like you could like be like, well, I want a couple flights overseas somewhere, and sometimes they'll agree to it. It's crazy at that point. Because like you said, they need to be out at a certain time.
Yeah, they suffer penalties if they're not pushed away from the gate. If that door's not closed, by a certain time, they get fined.
$10,000 and take the Greyhound. Yeah, I would probably take the Amtrak because I think the Amtrak's a little faster.
I'd take $10,000 and take the next flight or whatever flight they book me on.
Or take a rental.
I've slept in an airport for days. It's fine. I can do this. If I had a family with me, that would be a different story. I've survived with my family out of a vending machine for 2 days. It can be done. It's inconvenient and it sucks. But if you get an extra $10,000 in your bank account, then that's kind of cool.
You travel a lot when you know how to take a shower out of a sink.
That's so easy. Dude, they got all the towels you need and everything. So let's talk about, remember Spotify? Spotify, like 5 months ago or so, was all up in arms because of the Acoof spray and all the disinformation that's out there online, specifically targeted towards like Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan experience. He's pushing out disinformation. He wasn't, but okay. So they're like, you need to take Joe Rogan off or we're leaving. Spotify basically said, we're not taking Joe Rogan off. So Crosby, Stills, and Nash janked all their music off of Spotify. So 5 months after removing their music from Spotify, Crosby, Stills, and Nash can once again be heard on the streaming service. According to Billboard magazine, the group's catalog officially returned to Spotify last Saturday. Crosby, Stills, and Nash will reportedly be donating the proceeds from streams to COVID-19 charities for at least a month. So for 30 days, the money that they get from... Who? What? Crosby, Stills, and Nash? Oh, come on, man.
I don't know. I might, if I heard a song, I might know, but the who?
Okay. All right. You want to hear a song? Let me just do this. Crosby, Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Guys, I'm looking at the gentleman on the screen right now, and
you don't recognize him. That's from left to right. That's Graham Nash. Oh my gosh, Steven Stills is Steven. Oh, okay, yes, those guys. I don't remember them by.
Did I just prove my point?
Well, no, I'm trying to find a cool. They got such good music. They do have good music. They really do.
I'm just curious because obviously, I mean, I'm a hardcore metalhead, so if it's not like metal,
Okay, like from Steven Stills, Joe Walsh, that guy, Joe, and then then the other guy with the mustache.
The guy in the middle is the only one
that's Joe Rogan.
I know.
He's not in the band. He's the guy that they were protesting against. Okay, here, let's check this out. This is Crosby, Stills, and Nash. The name of the song is Helplessly Hoping. They're like a Vietnam era type 60s band.
Oh.
They're really good. I love them. They're awesome. They're just the quintessential tree hugging whatever the hell.
Yeah, the napalm sticks to kids kind of guys.
Pretty much. They got man. They are very, very awesome. They're very awesome. They do awesome stuff. Yeah, Graham Nash, Neil Young, David Crosby. I couldn't think of his first name, and Steven Stills. They're good, but they're not so good where I'm just I'm gonna boycott, fucking Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, Wooden Ships. That's a good one. Carry On is good. They're good. I mean, Joe Walsh. Oh, I'm sorry, Neil Young, not Joe Walsh. Neil Young.
Neil Young, Graham Nash, Neil Young, David Crosby. David Crosby, I know.
Yeah.
Neil Young, I know.
The thing is, with Neil Young, I think Neil Young is the guy that was so dedicated to the band, and he was not as talented as the rest of them, but they kept him around because he was a good guy. Because his voice is just not. He doesn't have a good singing voice. He's got very good. They all have good songwriting ability. But Joe Walsh, you know Joe Walsh, right? Life's Been Good to Me.
I'm drawing a brain fart right now. Life's Been
Rocky
Good
Mountain
to Me.
Way.
Rocky Mountain. This is kind of like the whole. This is like 60s stuff, right? Huh?
60s, 70s, yeah.
Yeah. That's like the whole kind of genre. I kind of.
Let me get a good. He just sounds like he's high all the time, and he probably is. He just doesn't sound like he's all mentally there. But the dude can write music and he can write lyrics. Okay, this is a random. These are all live videos. Oh, this is good. This is a good one. Gotta mute that because there's ads and stuff. Skip ads. Here we go. This one, you'll know this one. You know this one. This is Rocky Mountain Way. Tell me you know this one, please.
Yes, I know this one. Yeah.
Fast forward some of this just a little bit, just so.
As soon as I heard the riff, I was all right. Heard this song.
All right. So that's that. Hopefully we don't get stricken because of that. But yeah, I mean they're good. They're good. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Joe Walsh is really good. But you look at him and you watch him perform and you're like, why is he good? And then you listen to his music with your eyes closed and you're like, okay, this guy's pretty cool. But they're all, just motivated by... And I can't say that they're inconsistent because they're very consistent. This is who they are. And I get it. But the thing is, they boycotted Spotify because of the Joe Rogan experience. And the thing is with Joe Rogan, he just does a podcast like this, and he has guests and he asks them questions, and he's really, really awesome. He's really, really talented at asking people questions and getting information out of them and having a great conversation. And sometimes they go, you enter a conversation with a,
the Alex Jones one was the best one. The last one he did with Alex Jones, I think, was the most comedic.
Did he kind of take him across the?
He got Alex Jones. Did
he fuck him up?
High as hell. No, he got him high as heck. And he that's the one where he looks kind of at the camera. He's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, borderline retarded. But Alex Jones just goes off on a tirade for about 3 hours. I miss Alex Jones on the internet. I'm just saying that because I never believed a damn thing coming out of his mouth.
He's been banned by everybody.
He got canceled.
If we did, let's just say Mr. Alex Jones said, "Hey, WTF Nation Radio, I want to do an interview with you." We would get canceled just because it's Alex Jones. He's batshit crazy, but it's just like you said, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, exactly. But except he's been right a lot more than twice a day.
Yeah, he has. Holly says, "Nah, still gay." Anyway, I guess we're gonna sign off here.
Holy crap! It's that late already.
Is it late? I don't even know what time it is. Oh, it's after 9.
Oh yeah, we're good.
So we got shows. We got shows. It's fixing to be Monday through Friday. Monday is the Monday edition with Ice. Tuesday is Pop Culture Warrior with CQ. Wednesday is going to be the Smoke Pit with Radar. Thursdays is Sergeant's Time, obviously. Our best show ever. Friday is going to be Friday Night Freedom. And there's going to be a Sunday show. There's going to be a Sunday show called the Damn. It's on my last page. Sports Bar with Coach. He's going to be here, and guess what they're going to talk about?
Sportsies. Dudes hitting balls with sticks.
Dudes and pucks with sticks and kicking footballs with feet. And he's probably got a whole lot more knowledge about the sports than I do. Whenever I watch sports, I'm like, I just want a good contest between whatever teams are playing. I don't care. I really don't care.
But the only, PGA and hockey is about the only two sports I get into anymore.
I don't know if I get into any sports anymore, but I will sit down and watch a hockey game. I will sit down and watch golf.
Oh yeah, definitely vote for Pop Culture Warrior. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh yeah, there's a podcast awards. The podcast awards. I have no links. I have no idea.
Shame.
Sorry, I should have been more prepared. But the podcast awards. Apparently, Pop Culture Warrior has been nominated again.
Is up. Yes.
They're going to win. Please. He's going to win. He's going to win one of these years. We've had, Adam Baldwin was on this last Tuesday. What a great interview. That was a really good interview of just the back and forth between those two. It's like they've been buddies. It's like they served together. You know how you give shit to people? They were giving shit to each other, like a lot. It was awesome. Awesome to see. So those are our time. Those are our shows. Our times. We're always on at 8 o'clock Eastern, 2000 hours.
Yep.
And thank you all for being here, man. You got anything to say, man? Dude. Go ahead.
Don't drink and drive. That's all I gotta say.
Don't drink and drive. Don't beat your wife. Don't kick your dog. Right?
Yeah. You got me on that one. Right? That's the whole thing. I almost forgot the whole.
You're like, oh, I had this written down. Where is it?
Really good. It's still drinking drive. Let's don't do that.
So I get this a lot from Boone Cutler. I don't want to rip anything off. I just want to give him credit. A lot of times he's just like, here, check this out, read this story. And he doesn't want to lead people one way or another, but he's like, here, read this. He goes, control your emotions. Control, you're going to read this and you're going to feel angry or you're going to feel happy. Control your emotions. Remain neutral. So with all the shit that's happening here in the United States and in other places around the world, just whatever you're reading and digesting as far as information goes, control your emotions. That's I guess is how you win. So my name is Kaz and that's Pookie, and I guess we're gonna sign out here. We're out of here. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you. Bye.
Later.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
My friend came to the door. She said, well, I was on the phone cooking me and my baby some breakfast. And she said, hey, something wrong. It's popping. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Leroy Jenkins.